The first real threat you'll encounter in the new outdoor subfloor indoors is the Groundskeeper. Periodically in certain rooms, you'll find an outhouse structure notable for the star hole located on its front door. Some of these outhouses are completely harmless, whilst others are the perfect spawning ground for the Groundskeeper. They are a large humanoid entity wielding a scythe, and once they emerge from an outhouse, they'll patrol the surrounding room. The Groundskeeper will walk all throughout the room doing a variety of tasks, such as planting flowers or removing weeds, but they aren't always a non-threat. If you get too close to them or step on any grass within their vicinity, they'll quickly chase after you and kill you. After a while of patrolling a room, they will retreat back into the outhouse they spawned in. The best way to avoid a Groundskeeper is to not step on any grass when they are nearby, and don't get too close to them. If you have to step on grass in order to progress, which is a requirement in certain rooms, wait for them to have left the area before doing so. The next entity you are likely to encounter are mandrakes. These sentient vegetables can be found all throughout the outdoor subfloor poking out of holes in the floor, yet most of these are completely harmless. Every so often a mandrake will emerge from its hole and look out for players. If it spots one, it will immediately lunge towards them and start wailing loudly. Prolonged exposure to the wailing will result in immediate death. So how do you counter a mandrake? Well, when one starts attacking, you must quickly grab onto it by clicking its model, then travel to the hole it originated from and shove it back inside. A long, thorny vine connects the mandrake's head to its hole, so following that vine can always lead back to it. The Groundskeeper will also automatically kill any mandrakes attacking players if both are in the same room as each other, so that can be helpful in certain situations. The next common entity you'll come across is Surge. This is the outdoor subfloor's equivalent of Rush, and it pretty much functions exactly the same. Throughout your run, the lightning may be green in color rather than purple, and that signifies Surge has spawned. Once the green lightning strikes, a long time will pass before the entity actually starts attacking, so use that time to your advantage to find a hiding spot. After that time passes though, the entire sky will turn yellow and Surge will pass by with vicious bolts of electricity, and in order to survive them you can either hide in a locker or in a cabin room. From my experience, hiding in a subroom off the main path doesn't actually protect you from this entity, so make sure you either find a closet or cabin to hide in. Surge also doesn't spawn as soon as a room is opened, unlike the other Rush variants, but instead they can spawn at any point of a playthrough, so always keep a keen eye for the green lightning, as that marks their arrival as I had just stated. Lastly though, the final recurring entity, not including bosses that means, you'll face in the outdoor subfloor are monuments. These entities look exactly like the stone obelisks found throughout the subfloor as decorations, notable for their large diamond shape. But when nobody is looking, they'll spring to life. These entities function like weeping angels. How original. Where they'll only move and attack if not looked at, and they can be stunned if looked at. In order to avoid monuments, always watch your back to make sure none are following behind you, and if you do spot one, make sure you keep an eye on it as you progress so it can't attack you. Monuments entities look exactly like the normal obelisk structures in the subfloor, so there isn't really a way to tell which ones are real and which ones are the entity, unless you see it move or notice it's in an odd location, such as in a main path. They also adhere to the geometry of the floor, so if one moves onto a curved surface, the monument itself will curve, and normal obelisks don't do that, so that's definitely another way to tell which monuments are real and which ones are fake. These entities will definitely cause a lot of your deaths, so just watch out for them. Okay, now we have made it to our first boss, that being Eyestalk. This entity is pretty much exactly like Seek. Upon reaching the midway point of the outdoor subfloor, players must initiate and complete a chase sequence where they run away from them. This chase sequence itself is most like the second Hotel Seek chase, where players constantly have to look left or right to see which path is the correct one. You know the path is correct here if it continues on, as the incorrect path abruptly stops due to a wall or something like that. Snares can also spawn during the ice stock chase, specifically in areas with tiled flooring, so just keep an eye out for them as well. They do have a reduced stun time here, but stepping on too many can cause ice stock to catch up to you and kill you. At the end of the chase, ice stock will be sliced in half by the Groundskeeper and you'll have successfully avoided them. Now, the last harmful entity you'll encounter in the outdoor subfloor is Bramble, the final boss. This giant amalgamation of vines patrols a giant hedge maze, and to complete the room, you must activate 3 guillotines hidden throughout the maze, then exit via a newly opened passage in the back. Bramble will walk all throughout the maze, illuminating their headlamp every so often to get a better look at their surroundings. If they spot you, they will summon hundreds of spikes underneath you, which will slowly pierce you to death. And of course, touching the entity itself results in immediate death, like all the other entities. In order to avoid Bramble and complete the outdoor subfloor, simply don't go near them, and try to stay out of their sight, as their spikes are very dangerous. If you are caught in the spikes underneath you that they summon though, make your way to a locker and hide in there until the entity leaves. Lockers are plentiful in the hedge maze room Bramble spawns in, so definitely use them to your advantage. Now, although those are all of the harmful entities in the outdoors, there are actually 2 friendly ones you can find. The first you'll definitely encounter are caws. These are small black birds you'll find everywhere throughout the subfloor, and based on my research, they don't seem to do anything. Besides flying away when players get near, their only main purpose, at least significance-wise, is to act as an ambient creature that adds to the atmosphere of the subfloor. There is one niche use for them though, and that is if you feed them bread, you'll receive a special badge. Now, bread can be obtained through trading with Louie in the mines, but from what I've heard it can also rarely spawn in the outdoors in vine-covered chests, so finding it there and then feeding it to one of the many caws can be a surefire way of getting the achievement. Other than that though, this entity mostly seems useless, but hey, at least they look and act cool, their animations are pretty awesome. Lastly though, the final entity in the outdoor subfloor you'll encounter is Grampy. This entity resides in the mill, which is a safe room located a little bit after the ice stock chase sequence. Grampy acts much like El Goblino, as they can talk to the player and reveal tips as well as lore information. In fact, Grampy is the Groundskeeper's father, or at least acts as a father figure, so there is a lore tidbit for you. You can also give Grampy 8 lotus petals for him to turn it into a lotus flower, a special item that not only grants an achievement, but also functions like a checkpoint, allowing players to respawn in a specific room after dying. Other than that though, Grampy is basically just another version of El Goblino, so they're about as useless as El Goblino, in terms of gameplay at least. They are pretty cool though. Anyways, those are all of the new outdoors entities added in this update. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, and thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.